Okay, I'm out here in my shop again today, and I'm going to be working on part 2 of my table saw modifications. I've got some parts that I had made by the sheet metal shop that I work at. I drew these up and had them laser cut and form them for me, and I had a couple, I've got a 2x2 square tubing that I'm going to use for my rail, and then I've also got a 2x4 by 1/8 wall rectangle tube that I'm going to use for my table saw fence. But I'm going to start putting this together and kind of go through it and show you exactly what I'm doing here. Okay, so the first step I'm going to do here in putting this fence on is I'm going to take this piece here that's, I guess you call it my T-bar. It's actually going to slide over this rail and have some set screws here and a set screw back here, so that when I pull it too, it can be adjusted for squareness that way. But I wanted to make something to make it slide good on here. I've actually got the idea of this 2.5 inches, so I've used my CNC router to use these HDPE strips, which are really slick and they'll slide real good on this. So I'm going to take these pieces that I've made, and I'm going to put this one in here first. I actually had to use some washers here to space this screw out, because I don't want the end of the screw to stick through there. So it does not. So I actually had to use, I was trying to find some really short screws, but I went to the hardware store, I couldn't find them, so I'm just going to space these out with washers for now. Maybe I can find some shorter screws later. So, alright, so I got that piece on. I'm going to take this other little piece. It's going to ride back here, and notice that I've also milled the hole. That it's just a through hole where the set screw will go through for tightening that up. Again, I had to put a couple of washers on these. This piece here is actually a 1/4 inch thick. The other piece I milled down to about 3/16 thick. So I want a little bit of gap over this 2x2 tubing that I'm using for the rail. And then finally, I'm going to take this piece, and this will go right here in the center. And the way this works is, actually, you see I've got a hole cut here, so when I set this on here, this is my hole where I'm going to be able to view my scale once I put my scale on here. And what I did is I milled about 100 thousandths deep right here, so that as this is riding, it won't try to peel off my my tape that I put on here for the scale. So I'm going to set this piece in here like so. Lined up a little bit. In case you're wondering, you can probably see there's already, I've had these parts just a couple of days, and there's already some surface rust here because I've kept them wiped off and they're not oily. So what I'm going to do is, once I get all this put together and dialed in and everything, I'll take it all back apart and paint it, and then put it back together and dial it in again to make sure that everything's working. Okay, so I've got that on there. So you can see now how this is going to work. It's going to slide very easily on this rail. And you see I've got a little bit of play, so I can adjust my piece of 2x4 tubing for the fence will go here. And I've got these brackets here, which we're going to mount right here to the tube frame of this table, and you'll see those here in just a little bit. Okay, so now I'm getting ready to mount this rail, and I've got everything clamped out and spaced out. I've got just a 1/4 inch spacer here, and I'm just kind of basically feeling to make sure it feels like it's just barely above the table, because I'm going to put a 1/4 inch spacer right here for the fence to slide on. And then I've also got some little plastic caps, and I'm going to drill a hole and pop in the bottom so the fence will slide on the tabletop a little better. So I've got this all clamped up where I want it, and now I've got to match drill the holes down here and run those through the tube frame of the table, and then I've also got to mark the locations where I'm going to drill for the rail. So I'll get that done, and we'll be right back. Okay, while this was clamped up, I drilled through both walls of this square tubing and mounted my little L brackets there. And I've now got this this tube set on here. I've got it spaced off from the front of the table, and I've got it hanging over each side like I need the measurement I'm looking for. So now what I'm going to do is clamp this, and then I've got to use my center punch and punch the underside of this square tube, and then I'll be ready to mount that to the brackets. I'll take this off this tripod here and show you how here you can see the brackets here where I've gone all the way through this square tube and fasten that on so it's nice and secure. And I think it'll hold up nicely because once I get the fence on there, there's not going to be a whole lot of weight on there anyway, so it should work fine. Okay, I've got my rail all mounted. I just kind of got this set in here right now. This is my 2x4 rectangle tubing that I'm going to use as my fence, and I've got to make myself a half-inch spacer and then put the holes in this thing so it will line up right. I found some pretty neat things over at the hardware store this morning though, because I found these little rubber, or I guess they're plastic caps. They were in the section for the automotive things where you just drill a hole and I guess they're like interior things, or I don't know what they call it in the car thing. But anyway, those work real nice. It'll give me something nice and slick for this to slide on and get this all attached. So that'll be probably in the next part 3 of the table saw modifications, but right now that's all I got time to do. So we'll see you next time.